Dallas Viva. Hey, man.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. My name's Dallas. I get to be the young adults pastor at Mariners Church in Orange County. So good to be with you. I want to talk a little bit about character and integrity. Why is that so important? I know when you look at the business world, you might see the four C's: competence, character, chemistry, commitment. And in the world that we live in, sometimes you can focus on competency. It's we want to drive profit, so we want to get the absolute best, and I don't care how you do it, but we get it done. But in our line of work, I hope we can all agree on this, is character is the most important thing. Can I see some head nods? Like character is super important. Good. If you didn't, we're gonna have words. Damn me. Okay. Character is super important. So this starts with leaders. It starts with ourselves. Like if you're going to onboard a leader, a staff member, character, we got to look for character. I know if I have a leader, I can teach them competency. I can teach them how to grow in an area of ministry, but I can't teach someone character. The individual must have character. So for me, I have to be really mindful of I don't want to be so drawn to someone's gifts that we oversee their character. Like it's just we're blinded because they are so gifted, but we oversee their character. And for us, let us not be so enamored by our own gifts that we character behind. Our character, God will develop us for a lifetime. God is going to develop your character for a lifetime. Effective leadership flows out of being, not doing. God is primarily concerned with our being. We are human beings, not human doings. So, here's how He's going to do it. He's going to use people, the people in your life. He's going to use circumstances, and He's going to use events to develop you. He will give you obedience checks. He will give you integrity checks. And all of that is building your character because God cares about your character and your character is super, super important. I love like kind of like what Vivi said, that double life. Your character is so important and he does it over a lifetime. So another word for this could be sanctification. And maybe for you, and it's definitely true for the people that we serve, they are in their 20s, maybe in their 30s, and maybe you are a leader in your 20s or 30s. And we are in the beginning phase of our development. And I look at some of our people and they're in their 20s, but they want to be in their prime. And we don't want to have young Disney stars who get in their prime too early, right? We've all seen that when they hit their prime too early. But the studies actually show that we won't hit our primes as humans until we're in our 50s or 60s. If you start looking at some of these people, they're in their 50s and 60s, they are in their prime. And we see that as a 20 and 30-year-old. I want to be in my prime. But in our 20s and 30s, God is going to do more in you than he's going to do through you. He's going to develop you. He's going to give you an obedience check. Are you going to be obedient to me? Obedient to me? God is going to test your character. D.L. Moody said, character is what a man is in the dark. So character is what a man is in the dark. So at the heart of any assessment of biblical qualifications for leadership lies the concept of integrity, uh, that it's a adherence to a code of moral, artistic, other values that reveals itself in honesty and candor. It avoids deception, avoids being artificial or fake, but integrity is actually the heart of our character. And an integrity check is a test that God's going to use in your life to evaluate intentions in order to shape your character. So, Daniel, the story of Daniel, we know it. Daniel 1, Daniel chapter 1. This is Daniel's integrity check. So Daniel was told, "Hey, here's the food that you're going to eat." And Daniel's like, "Hey, I'm not going to eat that. I'm going to continue to follow God." And they said, "Hey, after a certain amount of time, we're going to test you." And sure enough, at the end, Daniel was strong. So Daniel had this inner conviction, religious conviction. It was involving food. Daniel's response was, even under pressure, hey, the king is asking this of you. Even under pressure from the king, Daniel stuck to his conviction. And then what happened to Daniel? You can see his expansion of how God used him. Hey, Daniel, you're obedient to me. I can see your character on display, and you watch Daniel's life get promoted. Like God blesses Daniel's obedience. His character is just on display. So obedience to God can is first learned before you can go and teach it. Like so, as we are teachers of God's word, it has to be first learned before we can go and teach it. So, how are you learning to be obedient? Integrity is foundational for effective leadership, and it has to be instilled early in a leader's career and a leader's character. So, think of it in your own life. Think of it for the people you lead. It's foundational for effective leadership. It has to be instilled early. So, it's super important. And the results of character, obedience, and the ability to perceive and use God's truth are bridges over which God proceeds in our development. So God's going to develop us over a lifetime, character and obedience and the ability to perceive and use God's truth, which is God's word. He's going to use that. It's the bridge of which you use for our development. So my encouragement to you is to pursue character, the thing that we can't always teach, but it's what God longs to do within you as he continually will develop you and the people that you lead over a lifetime. That's it. Thanks for letting me share.